Well, like I told you, I was a sniper. A lot of times in Iraq, I didn't have the luxury of the fight or flight syndrome. Many of the people that I killed were not trying to kill me directly. I never really had a problem putting somebody in my sights and pulling the trigger when they had an AK-47 pointed at me. There's a lot of times where we would just sit on the side of the road for, 3 days, waiting for somebody to find an IED, and it's not like in the movies. You don't see perfectly in the dark with that infravision. The nods suck. The infravision sucks. So you see a guy 200 meters away through the infravision, and you really don't know what the hell he's doing. You know he's there. You know he just pulled over on the side of the road. You don't know what he's doing. And it's always the innocent people that were killed that always bug me. That I always see over and over again. The guy that was changing the tire, taking shit on the side of the road.
They do that in Iraq too?
Yeah. They do a lot of things on the side of the road in Iraq. We found out by sitting there for 3 fucking days. But, I don't know. It's just, you see a muzzle flash in the window, and, U.S. tactic is overwhelming firepower. You stop your Humvees, traverse weapons. You got 50 caliber machine guns, Mark 19 fully automatic grenade launchers, 240 Bravo, squad weapons, just tearing up this house, and then, you get the 8-year-old kid running out the door with half his face blown off, that you didn't know he was in there. It's just, it's just so many times. It's just such an ambiguous war. You don't know who your enemy is. They're attacking you with IEDs and mortars and RPGs where there's no enemy to fire back at. You just get frustrated and mad that any chance you get to possibly kill an enemy, you take it. And a lot of times, it's just someone else, It's just a house that they were fighting from, and by the time you actually get up there, there's nobody there with an AK-47 lying on the ground dead, but you found mom and dad and little Joey in the bedroom, and, it's hard. My father was a Vietnam vet. He's an engineer, and he never talked about his war experience ever. Finally, 20 years later, he retired from the military, and he died the same year of Agent Orange-related cancer, without talking, to his 3 sons about his war experience ever. And I understand my father far more than I ever did just going through that war. I understand who he was now and how he could have been the person that he was. But I really think talking about this stuff has helped me. It's allowed me to do a lot of things that I'm not a Christian. I'm not religious, but I think there's 3 really fundamental things that you can do when you speak out about your war experience, and it's confession, repentance, and that healing, is just really powerful.
There's one other piece though, it's forgiveness.
Forgiveness is difficult. A lot of vets that I met. I'm the chairman of the board of an organization of now 800 veterans, and I know almost all of them by name. And as it gets closer to winter, it's always a very difficult time of the year. I always receive a lot of phone calls. And it's a growing community of friends that I have now that are prone to homelessness, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, relationship problems, suicide, and the guy that just died in the canal, killed himself. He was a Cavalry Scout just like me and a sniper just like me.
Starter?
Did you know him? I didn't know him. But all of them, So it's just hard. We do something in Iraq Veterans Against the War called Warriors Writers, and it actually encourages soldiers to learn how to write poetry or at least put down on paper their feelings and their emotions. And this is one of the first books that we produced out of it. I wish I brought some more for you guys, but I have one copy. We're just producing the second one now. It's going to be a hardback with artwork in it of soldiers' artwork, and I'll have to talk to you more about what we're doing with that. But I wrote something in here I'd like to share with you guys. It's called Duffle Bags. This was written my last week in Iraq. I wrote this, and like you said, I was never the type of person that would write poetry. You know, I thought it was girl shit. I didn't want it. You know, whatever. You know, I thought all you did with poetry was try to woo girls, and you know. But like you said, when I tried to write down my experiences, it came out like this, you know, and somebody said, "Wow, that's an amazing poem." It is. It's a poem, you know. All right, this is called Duffle Bags. As I leave my metal box that I have called home for the last year, I carry 2 duffel bags. And the first is full of gear and clothing that has offered me survival and protection. The other bag is harder to see with an uncompassionate eye. I filled the second with guilt, the shame for the part I have played in this campaign in Iraq. It is more useless than the first, however it is a burden I must carry. The ritual a soldier goes through to fill a duffel bag with maximum amount of gear is a wrestling match. It took every trick in the book to fit all my soul debt into this long green bag. First I rolled everything tight and squeezed it down, pinching and tucking, and wedged it in. As I filled it, I punched the sides. I held the edges and smashed my foot into the opening. I dropped it again and again like packing cigarettes. After fitting all my bad karma inside, I had to sit on it while pulling and straining to clip the top closed. Out of breath, I finally collapsed on top of the bulging bundle. The duffel bag will be dragged around with me perhaps for the rest of my life. From home to home, town to town, until I am too old to lift it. Then I will lay down beside the large duffel bag, crawl inside to die. So when you see a soldier returning home with a duffel bag at a bus stop, at an airport baggage claim, or being stuffed into a taxi, think about what's inside that bag. It might be rolled clothing of browns and tans, or it could be dark secrets that he will never reveal to his family. The soldier will not put his burden upon you, but if you feel any responsibility for the weight of it, you may carry it for a while if it would make you feel more decent. And if you force him to open it, perhaps everyone can take a little with them to relieve the strain for those who serve. It might be a reminder that we are all at fault for America's role in the violence in the Middle East. However, a soldier is trained to sacrifice. He will take the burden to the grave or make a grave out of it if he must. Thank you very much.